Yeah, let's talk about True Detective. You're an executive producer on the second season. Are you going to be directing any of the episodes?
Not directing any of the episodes. I'm kissed in for life as an EP, but
Okay.
the second season, it's on the shoulders of other guys. So
Justin Lin.
Justin
Is there
Lin.
anyone else?
I don't know who's official yet.
Yeah.
I'm not that associated with it anymore.
Okay.
I did my first season and then
Right.
in and out.
Did you see the meme, the True Detective season 2 meme? Have you seen this?
No. What is it?
So it's this hashtag. Basically, people loved the dynamic of the first season, I think,
Right.
Between McConaughey and between those two characters. And so people would just find two other kind of random pairings of big characters. It'll be like, or sometimes three, like TLC or something. And they'll say True Detective season 2, because like that's who they want to see.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's funny.
You should. I mean,
Yeah.
you might get a kick out of it.
I loved all the spoofs that came out last year.
Right.
Those were funny.
And you're doing an adaptation of It, Stephen King's It.
I'm still writing the screenplay now, but
Okay.
that's what I'm working on. And if that movie happens, then that'll be my first movie made in America.
Right. And it will also have kids dying.
Yeah. Fuck.
Have you thought about casting?
Just for Pennywise so far. I mean,
Right.
the kids, we're going to try and hire, the kids range from like 12 to 14, so, some of them might be, establishing themselves, but for the most part, I think they'll be unknowns.
So you're splitting it into 2 parts, is that right? And
Yeah.
the idea would it be the first one with the kids, and the second?
Yeah, so my initial pitch is that I'd read a version of the screenplay, I think, like 4 years ago, and tried to put everything into one movie, and I think, as I've seen from various book adaptations, it's nearly impossible to put any novel into a film. Usually short stories are better suited for feature-length films. But especially It, and if you're going to deal with the trauma that the story explores in terms of something that happens when you're young and how it haunts you the rest of your life, and you have to come back and face it as an adult, you can't really do that in one film, I think, especially with sort of like the Losers Club, which they established. And I think we all grew up, at least my generation grew up loving Stand By Me and Goonies and those kinds of films where you had this, rat pack of young sort of outsiders. And I think that's what initially drew me to the story. But as I've gotten deeper into it and kind of what the horror is about, I've kind of found other little themes and sort of concepts that I'm more excited by. So we've been honing in on the child story first, and then on a later film, we'll do the adult story.
Wait, would you shoot them at the same time? Is that the...
No, because we don't have the second script yet for the second film.
And you said you've thought about the casting of Pennywise.
Yeah.
Do you have like a dream candidate or anybody you've been talking to that...
I don't want to jinx it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have one person in mind that I think would be spectacular, but
I feel like there's a lot of True Detective fans right now who are thinking of Matthew McConaughey. Who are like, would that work?
that's kind of interesting. I didn't even think about that.
In terms of
Could you
another-
picture Pennywise in like a little sewer saying, all right.
Right. I don't know. It's a little... you also have mentioned a couple times the idea of a musical, and maybe Arcade Fire would be involved. Is that rolling? Is that something you're...
No, it's very much there, but it's there in the back of my head in terms of like trying to find the time to do it. It's not Arcade Fire, it's Owen Pallett,
Right.
who's Final Fantasy, and he does a lot of strings compositions with Wynn and what's the lady's name?
I'm sorry,
In
Wynn Butler?
In Arcade Fire, it's
Oh,
Wynn-
Regine Chassain?
Yeah, Wynn and Regina. So those two wouldn't necessarily be a part of it, although it'd be really cool if they were. Right now, it's just Owen and I. We've been talking about it now for 5 years, trying to figure out how to do it. And I have a loose sort of script. It's like 60 pages that needs a ton of work, but it's just looking for the right time to do it. But I'm still really excited to do a musical.
What would the story be? Is that...
It's about cycles. So this one would be the first one where no child dies, and really it's about the end of a relationship and the beginning of another one. So it's a classic looking for love and rediscovery tale.